Sometimes the answers we seek don't come from what we already know, but from what we dare to believe. Today, we live surrounded by possibilities. The world is within our reach, but the real question is, do you believe you can have it all? Do you believe that the impossible can become possible? The truth is, the limits are in your mind. And if you believe, if you have the courage to visualize what cannot be seen with the eyes, the reality you seek can emerge from the fog of uncertainty. Imagine for a moment what it would mean to live without barriers, without fear, without doubt, and without the weight of limitations that you place in your own path. With every step, the world around you bends to adjust to your deepest convictions. Because in reality, what you believe to be possible is possible. And what you believe to be impossible can also be achieved. The impossible only exists where there is fear and lack of vision. And as curious as it may seem, those who have challenged conventions, those who have risen above the limits imposed by society and doubt, have always been ahead. Thomas Edison, a man whom many consider one of the greatest inventors in history, didn't invent the light bulb on the first, second, or even third attempt. He failed repeatedly. But in his mind, there was an unwavering belief that the electric light bulb was possible. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This man didn't just challenge the science of his time, but he believed in what was not yet. He made the impossible seem inevitable. Henry Ford, the man who transformed the world with mass automobile production, faced countless difficulties. Many said he was trying something that couldn't be done, something that seemed impossible. But Ford had a clear vision in his mind, a belief that cars could be produced on a large scale, making them affordable for everyone. He didn't just believe it would be possible, he believed it would be inevitable. And so he made the impossible happen, and with that, he revolutionized the world. You don't need a genius in your family or an inheritance to achieve the extraordinary. All you need is a commitment to your own vision, an unwavering belief in the impossible. Because the human mind, when focused and disciplined, is more powerful than any physical or mental obstacle. Doubt, hesitation, the fear of failure are the true enemies of success. It's not external circumstances that limit us, but the limiting beliefs we cultivate within ourselves. And it's at this point that transformation begins in your mind, in your beliefs. The first step to achieving the impossible is to free your mind from the prison of limitations. You must begin by believing it is possible. The mind is like the fertile soil of a plantation. Everything you plant, it will embrace. If you plant seeds of doubt, of fear, it will bear the fruit of failure. But if you plant seeds of belief, of trust in your power, it will bear the fruits of success, wealth, and fulfillment. It seems simple, doesn't it? But the key to transformation lies not only in believing, but in believing without fear, without hesitation. True belief is the one that defies everything we already know, the one that goes beyond what logic can explain. And when you begin to believe without reservations, you begin to act differently. You start to carve a path that once seemed impossible. This is the starting point for any great achievement. The simple act of believing is where everything begins. Without this belief, you remain stagnant, stuck in a cycle of inaction and frustration. But with belief, with unwavering confidence in your vision, you begin to transform the reality around you. The vision of a better, greater, more meaningful future. What once seemed distant begins to draw nearer. However, belief without action is like a tree without roots, without a foundation to grow. And this is where many fail. They believe that simply dreaming is enough. But the dream needs something more. It needs action. Because true success, true power, does not come only from the idea or the vision, but from the daily effort, from the discipline in making decisions aligned with your goals. And here comes the second key: discipline. Disciplining your mind, disciplining your actions, disciplining your thoughts and emotions is what will differentiate you from most people. Those who fail do not fail. because they don't believe in success, but because they lack the discipline to push forward when difficulties arise. They stop. They give up. And the difference between them and the great leaders, the innovators, the visionaries, lies precisely in that discipline. Consider Walt Disney, the man who created an empire of fantasy and joy. He was fired from a newspaper for lack of imagination, had his first company go bankrupt, and Disney Studios went through enormous financial difficulties. But he held on to his belief. He held on to his vision. Disney knew his mission was to create something that made people believe in magic. He was willing to pay the price of discipline to make his vision a reality. Discipline is the cement that binds belief to reality. Without it, even the greatest dream will remain in the realm of ideas, never materializing. Discipline means doing what's necessary every day, regardless of the obstacles. It means learning, growing, and adapting as the path becomes harder. It means continuing even when you feel tired, because true resistance doesn't come from external circumstances, but from within you. It arises from the ability to keep going, to stay focused, even when everything around you tells you to give up. Every great achievement starts with a single action, and every action, no matter how small, is a step towards the impossible. And that's what you must understand. Every step taken toward your goal, no matter how small, is building the foundation for what you wish to achieve. Every action is like a drop of water, contributing to the ocean of your success. But make no mistake, the journey to the impossible is not easy. It requires patience, resilience, and above all, a clear vision of where you want to go. You must be able to visualize what does not yet exist, to believe in what has not yet been achieved. And when you have that vision, when you have that belief, you will be unstoppable. Because in the end, the impossible is just a matter of perspective, and your perspective is what shapes your reality. When you change the way you see the world around you begins to change. What once seemed unattainable becomes a matter of time, effort, and discipline. The impossible is not an obstacle. The impossible is an invitation to challenge the status quo, to go beyond what is known, to expand the limits of what is possible. And along the way, gratitude will be the key that keeps your mind and spirit in balance. Because as you achieve what once seemed impossible, you begin to realize that everything you have accomplished has been a response to your belief, your discipline, and your relentless effort to act with purpose. Gratitude is the recognition that when you believe in the impossible and work to achieve it, the universe conspires in your favor, opening doors that were once closed. At this moment, I challenge you to look at your life and ask, what do you believe is impossible? What do you desire, but think is beyond your abilities? Now understand that the impossible does not exist for those who have a strong mind, an unwavering belief, and the discipline to act. The impossible is simply what has not yet been achieved, and you have the power to change that.